Hey everyone, today on People Now, Ellen DeGeneres keeping us entertained, calling up some of her famous friends.
Plus, Anthony Hopkins, John and Chrissy, even Gal Gadot are giving the fans some fun content from self-isolation.
The Academy of Country Music announces some special plans to celebrate country stars after canceling the regular ACM Awards show.
And we're taking a look at some houses that we'd love to quarantine in with a roundup of Hollywood at home.
Plus, People's editor-in-chief Dan Wickford giving us the scoop on how People is keeping you up to date on how celebs like Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson are dealing with coronavirus.
It's all today on People Now. Let's go. Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Welcome to People Now. I'm Andrea Boehlke here in Random Lake, Wisconsin, doing my best at social distancing. Having a great time. How are you, Jeremy, in New York?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Still in New York. Yeah, you took the social distancing thing very literally, and you said, I'm going to go across the country to a farm to isolate.
Hi.
See you later. Yeah. So I'm dancing it out occasionally. I've got my coffee going. I've got granola bars that I'm addicted to, which I don't know if it's survival or if it's just because there's a box of them. I cannot stop eating them. They're so good. Anyway, besides all those weird things, lucky for you guys, we still have our hand on the pulse of all things entertainment. Here's what you need to know and what's trending for today. All right, a lot of celebrities are doing their part staying home during the coronavirus pandemic, even if that means being a little bored from time to time, like Ellen DeGeneres here. Check this out. Ellen's spending some of her downtime calling up a few of her friends, just saying hey. She wished Maroon 5 frontman Adam Levine a happy birthday. Watch this.
Hello.
Adam,
Yes.
it's Ellen. Happy birthday.
Thank you. What are you doing?
Not much. Just wanted to call and say hey. So happy birthday.
So you're also doing nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Ellen also gave Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel a buzz from her couch. Take a look.
Justin?
Ellen?
Yep. What you doing?
Nothing.
No? What's Jess doing?
Hey, Ellen.
Oh, hey. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Me too.
And there's no better time than now to pick up a new skill, right? Ellen shared one of her newfound hobbies with a little help from magician David Blaine.
Deck of cards, okay? They're all different. You can see that. I can't see them. I don't know what card is what. I'm going to pick a card. I'm going to call it out, and then I'm going to just find it, okay? 4 of hearts. 6 of hearts. It's very close. I'm going to try it 2 more times. 4 of hearts. 6 of diamonds. 1 more time. 4 of hearts. All right. Try to figure something out. That's not working.
Hey Ellen, it's great that you're practicing magic during these times of isolation. So if you happen to get the wrong card and it's not the 4 of hearts, you can always just shake it like this. Look. See, when you shake it, it'll just change and become your card. The other thing you can do is you can always just give it a snap. So you just take your card and snap, and then that's the other way.
All right, so Ellen is keeping busy. Jeremy, are you picking up any new hobbies?
Patience, unbelievable patience. And you know what, honestly, I've been drawing a lot, like coloring, which with my girls, and it's super relaxing. Like I'm all about things that calm me down right now. How about you?
Well, actually, my mom's gonna do a portrait. She's an artist, so that's her working on her skills, not necessarily me
nice.
picking up new skills. But I think my sisters and I are gonna start a juggling TikTok account and do some juggling and work on our skills. What's that face?
I can't wait.
You're gonna be so great, Jeremy.
I know, you guys are going to be great. I can't wait. I got to get on that TikTok game at some point. Anyway, all right, so lots of other celebrities, they've actually been keeping fans in the loop on how they're spending their time at home as well, including Anthony Hopkins. I absolutely love this video. I came across it in my feed and probably watched it 20 times because, again, it was very relaxing. Watch this. All right, so Anthony Hopkins posted the clip on his Instagram Wednesday playing that relaxing tune on the piano for his cat. He captioned the post saying the cat is making sure that he stays healthy. And he said, quote, demands I entertain him in exchange. And in that clip, Anthony Hopkins is focusing on the piano, kind of gives a glance down. The cat turns around. That cat is all about it. There's always a little hint of Hannibal Lecter, too, in his face. So I like it, but there's like maybe a little creepiness. I don't know.
Yeah, this isn't the first time Hopkins has featured his pet on Instagram. Back in August, he posted a similar video playing the piano with the cat chilling in his lap, and he wrote, "The pleasures of my life, a cat, a piano, a book, and a cup of tea. Looks like even amid social distancing, not much has changed here."
Got Gal Gadot also getting in on it, admitting on Instagram that she has been feeling kind of philosophical as she goes into day 6 of self-isolation. I think we're all having that a little bit, but in order to help get the message across that we're all in this together, she actually recruited a few of her famous friends to sing John Lennon's Imagine. Take a listen.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Gal kicked things off before a bunch of other famous faces joined in, including Natalie Portman, Jimmy Fallon, Zoe Kravitz. Then you also have Amy Adams joining in on the fun, Will Ferrell, Maya Rudolph, and many, many more. So cool she was able to round up this A-list cast of celebs.
Really incredible group. Gal shared that she was inspired to use this particular song after seeing a clip of an Italian man playing the trumpet on his balcony to other residents while their country's on lockdown. She said there was something powerful and pure about it. I actually saw that video. I've seen so many different creative things, even like a guy with his DJ equipment out on the balcony, kind of throwing a dance party for the whole block and everyone else out on their balconies.
Yeah, people are getting really creative. Also, I've been seeing a lot of people do Skypes and FaceTime parties. Like I was invited to like a FaceTime party on Friday, so I'm really excited to attend. And John Legend is passing the time at home with his kids. His wife, Chrissy Teigen, posted a few pictures to Instagram of John posing in matching crabby swim trunks with their son Miles and their daughter Luna. Now, Chrissy hilariously captioned the post in the most Chrissy way ever. She wrote, "I have crabs."
Earlier in the week, John hosted a live concert from the comfort of his own home alongside Chrissy, of course. She asked fans to weigh in and vote on what her outfit should be for that concert. She followed through. She showed up in a towel. You just give the people what they want.
Now, Chrissy is showing off her own talents via live stream too. The model walked viewers through how to make delicious homemade fried chicken. Looks like they are having a blast.
All right, meanwhile, Kylie Jenner shares that hiding inside her house while she was secretly expecting her now 2-year-old daughter Stormy actually prepared her for social distancing during the coronavirus. Kylie said on her Instagram story Wednesday that she was on day 8. She added, "My pregnancy prepared me for this. I didn't leave the house for months."
She followed that Instagram story with another commently saying, "We got this." Now, Kylie famously didn't address her pregnancy until after her daughter's birth back in February of 2018. She even went as far as concealing her baby bump during any appearances.
Prior to her post about how her pregnancy isolation prepared her for the times that we're living in now, Kylie used her immense social media influence to encourage her followers to practice social distancing. She wrote, quote, "Another daily reminder to take this social distancing serious and self-quarantine."
Yeah, I'm really glad that she's saying that. Although Kylie has been isolating herself, she's still hustling. She's been keeping busy by testing out new products from her Kylie skin line. The 2020 ACM Awards might look a little different this year, but might be more special than ever. So since the Academy of Country Music can't hold their annual award ceremony on April 5th as planned, they released a press statement on Thursday telling fans in part, quote, "With appearances and concerts canceled, country music's biggest stars are practicing social distancing and staying home and inviting fans to join them for a new kind of entertainment special." So the statement goes on to promise intimate conversations and at-home acoustic performances from top country artists. Now, who exactly will be performing will be announced in the coming weeks. The awards show is, of course, unable to take place live this year due to the coronavirus pandemic and the practice of social distancing. I mean, we were there last year, Jeremy, and it's such an amazing event. It's really sad that this is all going down and it's going to be postponed, but I think it's obviously very smart and really cool to see the country music community kind of band together to show something for their fans.
Yeah, the fans are so dedicated and really want to hear from their favorite artists. So I'm glad they're coming up with ways to still kind of give us a little something, right? To take away and kind of have a moment with some of these country stars who I'm sure actually would give some interesting insight into their lives and how they've been making it through all this as well. So
and I have to be honest with you, watching celebrities on Instagram Live and doing these kind of specials feels very intimate and one-on-one. So I think it's a really cool experience for fans.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, well, the press release does add, it'll be a night filled with entertainment, hope, and reflection, bringing the healing power of music to Americans at a time when they need it the most. The 2-hour ACM Presents Our Country special will air Sunday, April 5th on CBS. The 2020 ACM Awards had been postponed to sometime in September.
All right, switching gears now. During Wednesday's dramatic episode of the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion, Teresa Giudice revealed just how much she spent paying her ex-husband Joe Giudice's legal fees. Watch.
Dorinda from Boise, Idaho said, "Teresa, I know you paid off all Joe's debts. How much money went towards paying off his legal fees and back taxes?"
A lot.
Was it a couple $1 million?
It was a lot.
I mean, was it over $1 million?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Has he ever thanked you for that?
Yeah. But then, like, he's like, it's like
He
a
says what?
backhanded compliment.
He says what?
Like, you know, if it wasn't for the show, this would have never happened, and blah, blah, blah.
He almost feels like she owes him.
He looks at it like, well, no, you ruined my life.
Right,
Needing to
and that's why I feel
needing
like
to do this.
He's gonna want.
If you get divorced, you think he's going to ask her for spousal support?
No, I don't think so. Joe's not that type.
The conversation turned to Teresa's separation during the final installment of the three-part season 10 reunion. Now, People broke the news back in December that Teresa and Joe were splitting after 20 years together. At that time, a source close to the pair said they weren't exploring divorce proceedings just yet, and that's still where things stood as of reunion time. But Teresa's brother, Joe Gorga, said he had been trying to get her to hurry up the process, and Teresa's family seemed to get through to her. She said on the reunion that she was working on the divorce papers, but that Joe is procrastinating. Now, Joe Giudice began a 41-month prison sentence for mail, wire, and bankruptcy fraud in March of 2016. Joe was released from prison in 2019, but was held at Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Pennsylvania as he fought to appeal a judge's deportation order. Well, due to the rough conditions inside the ICE facility, though, Joe requested to go to Italy, where he is currently awaiting his third and final deportation appeal. All right, guys, stay with us. We are showing you around some OMG-worthy kitchens from our favorite celebrities. Plus, we hear from Freddy Krueger himself, horror movie legend Robert Englund, telling us about his new chilling Travel Channel show. Stick around.
We are so excited now to be joined by People's Editor-in-Chief, Dan Wickford. Dan, how are you holding up and where are you calling in from?
I'm bearing up. I'm in Bellport on Long Island, where we have been camped out, well, I've been camped out with my husband since last Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is very crazy times. A lot is unknown. It's the first time in history that People's actually closed on an issue without actually meeting in person. So how exactly did you manage that?
Yes, for 46 years, we've obviously been closing the magazine from a central office. This week, like many places in America, we were advised to work from home. So we had to work remotely, which is actually quite complicated for a magazine. Creating a magazine is about collaborating, for talking and meeting and discussing, looking at photos together. So we had to adapt, and we did this using technology. Photo selects and choosing what photos you'd see in the magazine were a little bit more complicated. We had to trust each other a lot more. Our morning meetings usually involve 60 to 70 people all around a table discussing the matters of the day. We've had to restrict that because conference calls with 60 or 70 people can be a little bit chaotic. You can't see who's talking. And so you have to be a lot more respectful and kind to each other and a lot more patient with each other. But I'm excited to say that the magazine is successfully in the hands of our loyal readers.
Well, congratulations, because that, honestly, hearing it from you two, that sounds like this incredible, what would seem a near impossible feat, but you pulled it off. What are we going to see in this issue in regards to the coronavirus crisis?
We have an 8-page story talking about what is going on as Corona hits America, focusing on a lot of the heroes and the helpers. We have a lot of first-person stories from different voices of the coronavirus, whether that's doctors, whether that's patients who are suffering from the coronavirus. We have first-person stories from them. We have a very important all you need to know about the coronavirus, really dispelling myths. This is a time where consumers should really be wary about which news outlets they're trusting and to look for reliable news outlets, but also not spend all day looking at the coronavirus news because it can freak you out and you need to stay calm. Check in once or twice a day, but don't become obsessed with this. We have also got a very in-depth report on Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson about that they were the first celebrities who were diagnosed with this and how they're dealing with things. They've currently gone to a rented home and they're out of hospital and they seem to be doing well.
That's so great to hear, because obviously at People, we follow the lives of these celebrities and actors. What was your reaction when you first heard about Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson?
I think it was strange because a comedian actually said, it's like the virus chose the most beloved celebrity out there to make us notice that this is real. And I think that was one of the many moments, that and the NBA cancelling all of the games, that you're like, this is serious. This can happen to everybody. If Tom Hanks can get it, anybody can get this. And since then, there have been several celebrities, including Idris Elba, who have tested positive. There are sensible things, obviously, everybody can do, and we talked about them in the magazine and the website this week.
So one aspect of working from home is it can be hard to stay focused and be in the zone. Do you have any tips for people that are trying to work from home and really get in that zone?
I think it's really creating an environment that you are comfortable in, sometimes creating distance from your real life and your work life so they don't blur into each other. I found myself in the evening working for longer because you don't really want to focus on, I haven't got so much to do, but to try and have boundaries there, to set yourself half an hour to walk around the block, to get outside, to take a lunch break, and to stop working at times so that you don't continue feeling stressed, to try and create a routine to your day. But I think it's important that we are kind to each other, we're patient with each other, because we are working in a very different way at the moment.
Yeah, I think finding a routine or doing something new each morning is really helpful for me. I've been working out in the morning before work, which has never happened ever. And I've been doing it 3 days in a row. So I'm feeling very strong and very good and then excited about the day. As we get further into this social distancing and isolation, what does the future look like for People magazine? Is there going to be any changes?
I think we will be able to function and put out all of our articles digitally every day, and to function putting out the magazine. We've successfully achieved that. I think what we put out is the big question. I think in difficult times, People does provide a lot of comfort. We're covering crises throughout our history, and we'll be covering the coronavirus and giving our readers the essential information that they do need to know and telling inspiring stories about this. But we'll also be looking at what other type of edit that we'll be presenting. We're experts in storytelling, and I think people love stories. Humans love stories. And at this time, I think people need escapism into deep stories, and we will continue those stories. We'll have interesting profiles with celebrities. We may have to get the celebrities to take the pictures themselves through our direction. We're still doing some photo shoots, but these have reduced. We have a lot of our exciting covers and a lot of stories lined up already, so the quality of the magazine won't be affected at all. The writing could even be improved because people have more time at home to be spending time writing. Our reporting is to the same level. We can report to people on the phone. And so I don't see a lot of changes. There will be changes in tone with our style and beauty articles. We'll be looking at things you can do at home, not necessarily sending people to the shops all of the time to buy things. We want to be there to provide people comfort and escapism, but also give them essential information.
All right, and last thing, I saw in your editor's letter for this week's issue, you have a new assistant, your cat Mikey. So what kind of assistant is Mikey? How is he doing?
Well, in that photo, if you check in the magazine, my hand is very firmly on him. I had to force him to give me the comfort I need in this time. He's a very independent cat. He's got a brother called Gus, who I think will be, he's a more attention-seeking, and I think he'll like to be in an editor's letter going forward at some point.
That is amazing. Dan Wickford, thank you so much for calling in. Glad to hear that you're doing well. And everyone, as Dan said, People will continue to be your source for celebrity news and exclusives, so keep checking back for all the latest.
In People TV's Hollywood at Home series, we get a look inside some of our favorite stars' stunning mansions. And one thing they all have in common, an OMG-worthy kitchen. And in this episode, The View's Sunny Hostin takes us inside her gorgeous kitchen and reveals to us the most important part of that room.
I have my eggs over here because I raise chickens, which I love and I'm obsessed with. Anyone who raises chickens knows what I am talking about. Fresh eggs every morning. And I have aracunas, so my eggs are blue and green, which is kind of unusual, I know.
All right, so you know Jenny McCarthy is going to have a fabulous home, right, Jeremy?
Yeah,
so Jenny McCarthy and Donnie Wahlberg's favorite features in their Illinois home is located in the kitchen, but it's used a slightly different way than you might expect.
This butcher block is actually it's a cuddle block. You see, we use it for cuddling and nuzzling and smooching and making a mess with various food products. But seriously,
and I can't really take any credit. I could take a little bit of credit for the other rooms for buying some furniture pieces, but John Wolfe's design was the one that did all of this. I have to give him credit.
Yeah, John's amazing.
All right, Live with Kelly and Ryan's Ryan Seacrest has a spacious New York City kitchen, and if you live in New York, you'll know how rare that phrase is. He and his girlfriend Shayna take us inside their fridge, where they reveal some homemade products plus their new favorite addiction.
We like to keep a lot of fresh vegetables and fresh juices and things like this.
Homemade kombucha, made with honey. No, you haven't tried it yet. It's just because we just bottled it. The fermentation process takes a few weeks.
I feel healthier already.
This is my favorite, which is homemade almond milk. We make it every 2 days, and there's no sweetener, no nothing in it, because the almonds are so sweet itself. It's our new addiction.
And everyone, remember, you can watch more Hollywood at Home episodes on PeopleTV.com.
All right, moving on to this. In this week's issue of People, Jen Gotch, the founder and CEO of lifestyle company Bando, is opening up about her struggles with mental health. Now, Bando is responsible for those flower crowns that became a favorite of Taylor Swift's. Andrea, you remember those?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so Gotch tells People that she grew up with anxiety and that despite having very attentive and caring parents, she says back then there was a lack of awareness. And she said, quote, "We didn't talk about things the way we do today."
And at the age of 23, Gotch suffered a scary nervous breakdown, which was later misdiagnosed as depression. But still, it was a very important turning point for her. She tells People, quote, "Those seemingly negative experiences gave me a deeper understanding, not just of myself, but of other people." In Gotch's new book, The Upside of Being Down, which comes out on March 24th, she credits much of her success to her mental health struggles and the quest to identify and harness them.
She reveals that she stumbled through a series of jobs and was prescribed medications that would work, then stop working. And then in 2002, a psychiatrist found that her mood swings fit the profile of a form of bipolar disorder. She was then given the proper medication, and she tells People she finally had the brain space and the brain function to figure life out and to find joy.
Gotch came to channel her creative energy and started selling flower crowns through Bando in 2008. The company now sells feel-good merchandise, including cursive nameplate necklaces that read anxiety, depression, and bipolar, with 100% of the proceeds benefiting Bring Change to Mind. It's a mental health awareness organization. I love this idea of the necklaces having anxiety, depression, bipolar, because I think it destigmatizes those things. And I think it's really great, and I think it's a great story. To learn more about her, you can pick up a copy of People on Newsstands Friday.
All right, Amy Ryan is the latest celeb to swing by couch surfing to take a look back at some of her most beloved performances. One of those, of course, includes her role as Holly on The Office.
I'm MC Max Scott, and I am hot. She's DJ Jazzy Flax, and she is the best. All the sucker branches can suck off that. Wicka, 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 what?
And Ryan is sharing which character from the hit comedy made her laugh the most on set.
Steve, and it was like the smallest gesture or the funniest turn of phrase. There was something he said once, the line was something like, they're a bunch of looky-loos, and I don't know why, it just, and I started giggling and trying to turn it into a cough, and then it turned into just full-on silent weeping and then crying, and makeup had to be reapplied after, it was a very sweaty moment.
Ryan also starred alongside the late Philip Seymour Hoffman and Catherine Keener in the 2005 film Capote. She opened up about her close relationship with Hoffman and what they bonded over the most.
I would often bump into Phil in our neighborhood. We both lived in the West Village, and he was just so generous. He was just always laughing, and I don't know why we got in this talk about pointing, like New Yorkers point. I was like, oh, I'm from Queens, but I have to go uptown, and you live in Brooklyn, right? And we both were, it's kind of a little out of context, but we realized how much we do that, pointing to you going out to Jersey, and we just had a whole conversation, something pointing at each other.
For more on Amy Ryan's career and most beloved role, tune into Couch Surfing every Friday on People TV.
I don't know that it's fully cooked.
How was it?
It was really hard to taste the fish.
Poker face. You're not gonna give us.
We got a long season ahead.
No.
Right now, the mistakes are going to be amplified. The cooking is all going to be really top-notch. You don't want to be the one walking out of here second-guessing.
Hey, who wants immunity? Unless I break my leg off, I will be the next top chef.
I don't think so.
We need to boogie.
Guys, we got 1 minute left.
This is the worst plate of food I've put up in forever.
He forgot he was a cook.
Hummus was needing some seasoning, too. Is that correct?
Do you see the bus tracks on my back?
I don't know how it worked out, but I have no space. Off. Everyone just took their own pretty guys. This season will be the most difficult season of Top Chef.
Go hard or go home, right?
Top Chef All-Stars Los Angeles premieres tonight on Bravo. It's the 17th season of the Emmy-winning series, seeing 15 All-Stars, comprised of 10 finalists and 5 frontrunners, returning to compete to see who becomes Top Chef. And to sweeten the deal, the winner will walk away with the largest cash prize in Top Chef history, $250,000. This is Top Chef's second All-Star season. The first was season 8, set in New York. Richard Blais won back then and went on to become a judge for a number of seasons after that. So a win can really change everything for these contestants.
Yeah, I love this version of it with the stakes a little higher. And of the 15 contestants this time around, a few have competed multiple times before, including Angela Sosa and Jen Carroll, who both participated in the first All-Star season. Season 6 is the most represented season in the cast, with 3 chef testants who previously competed in Vegas, returning for another go. Fun fact here, season 6 is also the only season so far to win an Emmy for Outstanding Competition Program, breaking the Amazing Race's 7-year streak. Top Chef has been nominated every year since then as well.
This season, the chefs will cook for guest judges and celebs, including Kelly Clarkson, Randall Park and Ali Wong, Danny Trejo, Nancy Silverton, Marcus Samuelson, Jon Favreau, and Roy Choi.
Quite a lineup, and of course, host Padma Lakshmi and head judge Tom Colicchio are back to dine and dash the contestants' hopes, as well as Judge Gail Simmons, who was largely absent from production last season while she was pregnant.
This is going to be a really good season. I'm excited. So make sure you tune in for the supersized Top Chef All-Stars Los Angeles premiere tonight on Bravo at 10 p.m. Eastern to see who's the first All-Star to pack their knives and go.
Hidden away in news reports from America's past lurk tales so frightening that they must be true.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
What the hell is that?
I'm frightened, Emily.
You people are insane! You don't have to do this!
I'm Robert Englund. Join me on a journey into the dark shadows of our nation's history.
Horror film icon Robert Englund has creeped into fans' homes for years as the nightmarish Freddy Krueger, and now in the Travel Channel's 6-part series True Terror with Robert Englund, he's scouring nostalgic news reports to bring viewers twisted and true tales ripped straight from the headlines.
Robert told us why he's so interested in these dark urban legends, which according to him comes straight from the underbelly of the American psyche. Take a listen.
Most of them are 19th century. They take place in the 1800s, some early 20th century stuff. But I like the idea that all of them had been in newspapers at one time. Now, whether that's, tabloid or yellow journalism, it's still, we were more naive, we were less sophisticated. Our science, was antiquated at the time. And these are things we believed in, or many of us believed in. And it gives you kind of an insight into that sort of dark part of the American imagination.
Ooh, and when it comes to our own wild imaginations, Freddy Krueger himself weighed in on why he thinks people love a good scare.
I think that there's something about sitting in the dark, even if you're at home with a cold slice of pizza and a warm beer, and turning the lights down and watching A Quiet Place or something, and you get scared. I think young people especially, they think they're going to live forever. And I'm old enough now to tell you, you're not going to live forever. And I think we confront mortality. I think sitting there in the dark with the lights in the living room turned down or in the man cave and watching a horror movie, I think we sort of surrender our sense of mortality, and we identify with what's going on the screen, and we really do confront life and death. We're not going to church as much anymore, and we don't talk about death as much. And I think that the horror movie is one of the places that sort of provides that confrontation with mortality.
So Robert has been in the horror genre for decades. Despite scaring us for years, he admits that he's human and does have fears of his own.
Turns out, yeah, he's a real guy. And signing on to make the 2000 film Python really helped him overcome one big one in particular. Watch this.
For a long time, I was afraid of snakes. That was a great fear of mine. I'd seen a World War II movie as a child, The Naked and the Dead by Norman Mailer. It was an accident. I went to the Saturday matinee and I went too late, and I watched the grown-up movie. And a soldier gets bitten by a snake and he dies a horrible death. And for that rest of that summer, I looked under the bed, I looked in my underwear drawer, I looked in the closet, I looked everywhere, for snakes, in the garage. I was so petrified. And then I did, as every actor is wont to do that's in the horror genre. Sooner or later, you do a giant alligator movie or a giant snake movie. Hell, I've done them both. And Killer Bee movie, you name it, I've done it. And when I did my giant snake movie with Jenny McCarthy, among others, they gave me a little baby albino python. And they put a tube sock under my arm, and they had a shoelace over my shoulder. And the little baby snake, she lived there in the warmth of my armpit. They like the body warmth. And then I would bring her out and let her coil around my fingers for some of the scenes. And I knew, I'm an actor, I knew that looked cool. And I finally relaxed, with her. She was, it was a small baby, and she would coil around my fingers, and I would display her during a scene because I was playing the old herpetologist. But that's how I got over my fear of snakes. So it took a horror movie for a horror actor to get rid of his very real horror of snakes.
It's so funny to think of Robert Englund being scared of snakes. Jeremy, are you afraid of snakes?
I'm afraid of that, but I'm more afraid of him as Freddy Krueger. Let's go.
All right, everyone, make sure to watch Travel Channel's new series, True Terror with Robert Englund, Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern.
All right, coming up tomorrow, we're talking to comedian Jim Gaffigan about how he and his 5 kids are spending their time at home.
Plus, from one of our favorite shows to binge watch, Monty Durham from Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta joins us. Excited about that. Thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy and safe, and we'll see you tomorrow.